Today's the day we talk about imposter syndrome. So it's time for us to call BS on imposter syndrome, at least as we all currently understand it. It's not about us. It's about the system. It's not a pathology, and it's not just for women. Sometimes it's helpful for us to give things a name because then we can own it and find a place for it. But we get the labels wrong, and imposter syndrome is a perfect example of that. First of all, here's the definition of imposter. A person who practices deception under assumed character, identity, or name. That does not ring true to me. Second of all, syndrome. Syndrome is a group of signs and symptoms that occur together and characterize a particular abnormality or condition. Yeah, it's catchy and salacious, but it catastrophizes and generalizes a feeling that isn't even necessarily right in the first place. On Adam Grant's podcast, they talk about it in a way that makes more sense to me. Workplace imposter thoughts. And that rings true because I don't have a ton of imposter thoughts in other areas of my life, like as a mom or as a partner, definitely as a content creator, working on that, but mostly it's confined to work. And I don't know about you all, but when I'm feeling vulnerable and filled with self-doubt, I am not out to deceive anyone. And I don't think I'm experiencing a condition of any kind. It's not a pathology. It's just thoughts and feelings. When you look up imposter syndrome online, there's like a bajillion references, but the two that caught my eye in 2021 were game-changing for me, and I want to share them here. I linked 2 articles down below in the comments. So in their epic article, Stop Telling Women They Have Imposter Syndrome, Rashika Tolshan and Jodi Ann Burry talk about the history of the term, which was originally called imposter phenomenon way back in 1978, and solely focused on women, particularly high-achieving women, and completely ignored that there's an intersection with race and gender identity. As originally designed, imposter syndrome directs our view toward fixing women at work, instead of fixing the places where women, and let's say all people, work. And all the work is described in an article as Eurocentric, masculine, and heteronormative. This leads to chronic underrepresentation, uncredited work efforts, and microaggressions, a system that we all work within. And for underrepresented groups, this is especially damaging. As mainstays in our company cultures, they negate any amount of coaching or training or self-work that we can do as individuals and point to the need to rethink the way we do things around here. In their second article, the authors tell us how to end imposter syndrome in the workplace. I'm just going to give you just the tip of the iceberg and the things that meant the most to me. I'll talk about the rest of it later. So here's a metaphor. Men can wear suits, business casual, hoodies, dark wash jeans. It doesn't really matter what they wear. They're still going to be taken seriously. Women, however, are on this tightrope walk of norms and mores that help us be taken seriously based on what we wear. How can this not cause self-doubt? It doesn't come out of the blue. The self-doubt doesn't come out of the blue. It comes from these external forces and these double standards. That's what double standards do, right? And then there's this like conflicting advice. Don't be too aggressive, but be assertive, but don't like be too strong, and be sweet, and don't override people, but be leaderly. So that leads me to my most dreaded workplace phenomenon, and the one that I hope we can fix together. It's gaslighting. I think it's one of the most damaging things that we have going on in workplaces. It causes us to question our sanity and our path going forward. It exists because we ignore things like where imposter syndrome comes from. We talk about things as though they come from inside, they come from ourselves, and we could maybe fix it just by working harder, being different, reading more books, saying things in different ways, wearing different clothing, being more confident. It's about the system. We got to fix the system. I think we can. We're definitely all in this together. All right, so if you've made it this far, I want you to do me a huge favor. And if you enjoy my content, this is especially true. Will you please like or heart or any of the other symbols at the bottom there? Because it does two things. One is it delivers more of my content into your feed. So if you like my content, when you engage with it, you get more of it in your feed. Second of all, it makes me feel good about myself, because even though I'm doing a lot of work to detox from 47 years in the patriarchy and the impact that that has had on my self-image, I still seek external validation. So if you're willing to give me a little bit of validation, that'd be awesome. Have a good day.